Bro, why your game look like that? What the fuck?
He's in Fulbright.
Um, all right. So the mid, um, I guess like standard mid. What I do most of the time is I just let my sniper go. I guess like cliff with our NG, so you can shoot connector. I like going across the point, so no one ending back here. I don't care if you guys are like all 13 health, but if they're equally as weak, we have to play over here and get these kills. So I like to do it at the start. It's all like wait a second or two for the sniper call, but sometimes you guys have to just like guess if you're not getting a call early enough, just so that they don't walk before you do. Um, Usually the right side is better just because you can actually support your flanking connector, and they can kind of help bail you out of fights as well. And it's easier to spy check kind of some ground over here once your team has space, rather than doing it over on the dog bread side. So kind of the most I do for going dog bread is maybe you guys could spam a fight left a little bit and then rotate to the right. The same case goes like if you guys call to go left and they go right, you guys can just sit here and just shoot at them. You don't really need to like do this where you cross in front of the point over to the right side because then your medic can't really heal you and it's kind of hard for your medic to follow you. So I'll just default like to start playing on the right side, or if I'm on the left, I'll shoot over to the right. Once you guys have some space on right side and your sniper's kind of taking some shots at main and concrete, then your sniper can just like drop down and like play here with your NG. That way you guys can like go to the point together and your sniper has a better angle. I think most of the time what I like to do is just have my soldier bomb around and try and get on their China. My heavy will commit across the point, which is fine. You guys have to make sure you actually commit across with your heavy. Your medic can just start like arrow taking your heavy at this point that you guys are walking up. And you can just make sure that like if someone pushes connector that you have like your demo or your scout can clean up these people for your heavy because they'll have his back turned. But most time the mid you want to be trying to end like I guess like here. Once you have like they're concrete and they're all sitting in pocket, and most of the time when you end here it should be a winning fight and you guys can just heal up on the point if they're really far back. If your med dies at the start of mid, it doesn't matter. We still get in. You guys can like try and collapse in their main. But if their medic instantly leaves, you guys should just be trying to like get the kills that are guaranteed and then try and get the cap instead, rather than trying to chase by their house. And then I guess I'll talk about the other kind of mids. So if you don't have your sniper go cliff and you have your sniper go porch, it's still fine. I still like to rotate to the right side still. If they're all playing towards cliffside, so you play against a team that's like playing really passive, where instead of committing through connector and across the right side point, they kind of just punish you guys for feeding. Like they might have their heavy here, they might have their sniper on cliff sniping your flank. Unfortunately, really the most you guys could do is you could just try and I would like I kind of did this last season, but I just tried playing our sniper left. So if they all played near cliff and pocket and tried walking in the dog bread, we could just collect the feeders, and then because we have more kills, we could then take the point. If they have their heavy playing cliff, um, and or I guess their sniper, um, if they have their sniper or heavy playing cliff, and your flank can't get through connector at all, I guess you can have your sniper start going concrete and just like peek a second or two after their combos peeking you. It's like, of course, like we want to like start walking up and like drawing eyes, so then they start looking at us, and then your sniper can peek from concrete with your flank because they're not just staring at them anymore. The same case goes for refights too. You just have to kind of time it so it's like a little after. And then for the mids, if your flank is like totally getting destroyed on concrete and they can't go there at all, you could always just go through main. And yeah, you still might be peeking the sniper on cliff and a little bit on China, but the thing is you're not in his sightline as long. So you could just start having like your heavy and soldier go main. This way your medic can just like buff your heavy a lot better. And then your heavy can just like start walking up to the crates this way, or even like play here until you guys have some space and then walk up. And your soldier can just whip your combo, your heavy, and still bomb off the same wall. So if you guys are like just getting sniped from cliff over and over again, then trying to go main is a little better just because you're not in the sightline anywhere near as long and the sightline's not as wide. So yeah. If you guys are winning a mid and towards the end of the mid, their medic dies, I would still kind of play it a little slow and back up to your side of the point. Just try not to end in somewhere like main or behind the rock. So main is fine if you guys are already like planning to leave, like your medic is further back here, but not if you guys are just like sitting here in this corner or sitting down here near the wall. So if you guys are winning a mid and their medic dies towards the end of the mid and you guys are not like fully committed across, you want to play slow, play heals, it's okay to call that you guys are backing up or rotating to the left side. So if they sack, your medic can potentially go into house. And of course, you can still play on your sniper. I would rather leave towards main if you guys have time to play back for like a coordinated sack. But on mid, oftentimes it's kind of hard to just find a spot to duck into. And usually around house is better if you can't just get out of main. So another thing on mid is the soldier. If the soldier is just bombing instead of directly onto you guys, if he's bombing behind, I think if he's going really early, you guys can choose if you want to kill the soldier fast or not. I think it's better generally to just start off by going forward, like rather than saying, okay, well let's sit here, let's lose the first mid, but the second mid we're gonna have someone chase him. I would just by default, if the soldier's doing that, just try and collapse forward because there's one less person playing near connector, and there's one I guess like less person putting spam forward. So for future reference though, if your soldier or their soldier is like bombing behind you guys, harassing your sniper and getting up on China, of course you could have your NG just play near cliff, kill the soldier, and then drop down to pocket. But if not, then if the soldier goes first, you can have like your scout or pyro even turn for him. And then the rest of your team can commit forward after that. All right. So I guess after the mids, like just basic default like rolling out and things like that. If you guys, let's say you lose the mid, I think one, it's best for your NG to just default to playing cliff. I mean, you don't really have to be cliff 24/7, but it's better to just have it default as like your soldier heavy play concrete, your NG plays cliff. That way, your sniper has somewhere that you can usually safely rotate between the two. But if your NG is like constantly spending time rotating from main, Japan, house, cliff, China, grass, then you know that one of these is never fully going to be covered. There's always going to be an opening somewhere. So your NG should just stay cliff most of the time. When you guys are rolling out a spawn, of course, if you think you're getting forward held, then you let your spy cross first to confirm it. If you're trying to actually get out of the forward hold, I kind of don't really like the whole like rotating thing anymore, just because I feel like it takes too long and people are like predicting it already. So I'll just kind of see a door that they're holding and try and bust out of it. If you guys have Uber, you could use out of the door. And of course, if it's an exchange, you would just want to trade and then come in the post. But say they're all playing on your grass, you can show cliff for a second. You can run back to grass and get ready to bust through. And if you're gonna do that, it's literally just you have your pyro go first. So you full buff your pyro. Your pyro can start peeking to air blast some of the spam and clear the traps. And then your pyro peaks as like your demo and your soldier will bomb through. Um, the whole idea is that like if our soldier gets through and starts drawing eyes, our pyro can help reflect the spam. So then the demo and the scout and the heavy can flood in behind that. And hopefully, even if the soldier and pyro die immediately, then you guys would get the rest of the kills here. Your pyro could even peek and try and air blast the heavy off this, and then you guys can freely peek because I'll just be sitting down here and over here. Of course, during that, you know, you could just have your sniper and your NG go main, but I think probably going through cliff is a little bit better. And if you guys think that anyone is going main behind you guys, if you're not getting through, of course, you can back up and kill them. Otherwise, you can just commit forward. So if they do go behind you, then they're just stuck in your spawn. But I think it's probably better to start just to have your NG and sniper peek main during that instead. Or you could even have your scout run through main when you guys are busting through the forward. So if your scout can run through main, and then anyone who's sitting here, especially like demo or medic, just immediately gets getting shot in the side, and they can't afford to keep looking here. if you guys are coming through cliff, most of the time your combo won't be going main. But if your guys are coming through cliff, that's still fine. You have to make sure you actually commit through the door and get up top instead of hesitating. So if their sniper's not watching or he hasn't shot yet, then we have to, commit through before getting like half your team stuck here and half your team stuck in the spawn. And then your flank can go out grass afterwards. So you can have your soldier and heavy still commit out of grass, but you can have them do that after you guys have cliff presence. That way, hopefully, they're not just sitting here anymore, or at least your sniper can start taking shots at them. Yeah. For just like getting out of spawn in general, that's pretty much the majority of it. If you guys have Uber and it's an exchange, if they're forwarding, you guys could always just trade out. So, if it's even and they're on grass, I won't waste time going cliff and doing the rotate game and all that. I'll just use because there's really no point in baiting them to get to one door. So you guys can just use like demo pyro and grass. And then in the post, you swing the same way I said before with like your pyro and soldier committing and your heavy and demo going behind that. Just like standard resetting behind house, I like to have our scout roll out cliff. So our scout rolls out cliff just because, one, he's like the fastest, so he can do it normally, and it's really easy for him to come out here and just clear all these corners for spy, and then he can just kind of get up top. He can find spy a little quicker than the NG can. And if he's like rolling out cliff, sometimes you'll just bump the spy and you'll kill him. You'll force the spy to move and you'll rotate. He won't just be like sitting here the whole time waiting for your sniper. And then the second that your NG, turns his back or leaves, then the spy calls for the soldier to get in and they pinch your sniper together. It's like no issue just having your scout roll out cliff to find the spy during the downtime anyway. Because the second that he does that, he's going to try and spot where they are and then come get bust so you can walk up with the combo. Then your NG can go cliff afterwards, but you don't want to just have no one clear out cliff whenever you're going there. For your flank, if they're playing close on concrete, I wouldn't reset close. I'd probably reset further back for a second. Your combo can, come over here and you can buff you guys. Sometimes if you want, you could even just go main. If you feel like you literally can't get through grass at all, you just go through main with your combo, get buffs, then cross to the right side. And if they are playing a bunch of people close to your grass and your spy or flank is calling it, you guys can rotate your beam over to kind of bully these people out, and then you guys can start pushing through either main or porch. The key is, though, is when your flank is going to be pushing, your combo can't really wait too long. It's like your combo has to walk up before your flank does. If your combo and flank go at the same time, especially if they're all hard stacked in the concrete or the right side, or even the boxes, if your combo goes at the exact same time as your flank, your combo is going to be about here, your flank is already going to be dead. Because this fight is just a lot closer and there's going to be more people stacked over here. So it's more like you guys wait for a second or two. So if I'm calling I'm going to go left, I'll call for my flank to get in when I'm about here. Because now I can actually afford to shoot at the right side. I can afford to cross to the right side of the point. If you guys are calling for your flank to get in when you're through this door left, you are still way further away from their team than your flank is. And they'll most often blow up instantly. So you guys can just tell them to just like delay it by a lot more, especially if their sniper is watching concrete. So for refights, I like to send sniper NG cliff most of the time to shoot at their flank or people on the boxes. If not cliff, you could always just have your NG go cliff and your sniper go porch. The sightline isn't like drastically different. It's really just the fact that your sniper is kind of harder to kill if he's on cliff and doesn't really eat as much heals. But it's kind of the same premise. Like you could have your NG go cliff, your sniper can start peeking porch with you guys to look at the right side, and then maybe your NG can just spy check from cliff, or you can have your sniper go cliff, and then once you guys get some kills in some space, he just drops off and does this anyway. But when we're getting in from Valley and they're all playing towards concrete, unless their sniper is playing rock or there's people in Dogbread, the first thing I'm going to get in and start doing is rotating to the right. You guys don't want to like sit here and try and trade spam or get in pocket and hesitate or even sit behind the rock. It's like we get in, we start rotating to the right side to bully them out, and then our flank can come in. If you guys are getting through main, usually I will not get through main if they're playing close on the right side. Maybe if you have like Uber ad and you want to get those kills, that's fine. But typically I'll just always go through porch. if they're playing really far back, or they're playing more so to Dogbread, or their demo is not often trapping main, most of the time, if it's just like the sniper watching main from the rock angle and that's it, it's a pretty good vet. You can get through main a lot easier. Of course, like teams that are playing like up on this side of the point, their demo is trapping it, they're hard spamming it, you would want to go porch. But if they're not doing that and you know it's just the sniper watching, if you guys peek together, you know, even if he kills one of you, there's like 4 or 5 other people that can flip through. Um, but I'll get through main. You guys can clear the traps. Of course, you can have your pyro do it, but like your demo can do it too. You can just shoot like here. It'll knock them out of the way. You guys can get through. And then same thing. We start shooting towards the right side. You guys can start pressing behind their rock. Your flank can come in. And then for when your flank is on concrete, of course, there's like the whole thing of like who's going to be spy checking if your soldier and heavy are both trying to fight. I think typically if your heavy is walking up, your soldier can spy check for a few seconds. Um, and then when your team is committing and your soldier's in, your heavy kind of just has to be mindful like, okay, I'm alone on concrete. So when I get up to the point or get up to connector, I'm probably going to have to spy check for myself. It's honestly pretty good for your pyro as well, that when you guys get up to right side point, it could be mids or Ubers or refights, whatever. Once your heavy starts walking up and your soldier is not there to spy check for him anymore, your pyro could even come here to catch the spy. Of course, not something ridiculous like chasing them all the way to grass. But that way, like when you start walking up, it's kind of like you're heavy to be responsible either to get closer to the point so people can spy check, or if you're going to commit through connector or just sit here on concrete on your own, then you just turn every few seconds for yourself. Because you can't just have your soldier AFK and your spy check for you. All right. So, for the actual Ubers that you guys are going to be taking on point, you want to look for kills that are playing connector or dogbread. So every single time, I'll just be keeping a demo scout. Um, if your demo's dead, you could always scout pyro, especially like to block the point. Usually, you just don't want to get forced if it's a scout pyro Uber. It's like it's not like you guys should be waiting and then you guys have to take scout pyro because you guys got weak or had to drop people. It should be as soon as they come in, if our demo's dead, we're going to scout pyro so they don't have any space. But for like your typical demo scout Ubers, just look for any kills or space on flank. You don't want to overcommit for it, but at least you can blade them out and your flank can take that space in the post. You just want to have your flank a lot further back during the Uber, so probably about like here. Um, some teams will super hard commit into flank. They'll literally run their scout Ubered into them and then run behind. So if your flank is kind of experiencing that, they can play really passive during the Uber or even like be near main. So they could be like passive in the post. They go main like they do on mids, and then they can get curtailed and then they can fight right side pointer connector. But you always want to be looking to kill or make them flash flank players during the Uber. Of course, in the point in the post, you guys just take the point. So I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. But when you guys actually have the point, what I'll do by default is just we'll stack right side and main. So I'll have like I'll be playing here, my pyro will be here, your medic will be near the point. You can have your heavy and soldier play up on the right side. And you can do this if it's like add or if there's no Ubers in play. Um, if it's an even Uber exchange, I would not have your flank play close on the right because you don't want them to need flashes or get dropped during the Uber. So like if we're playing on the right and both teams exchange, there's no way our flank can get out during that Uber unless we flash them. Um, so if it's an even Uber exchange, it's okay to have your flank more passive. You know, your soldier could be here, maybe your heavy could be here or on this box here, so you guys can back up a little sooner. But you still have some impact if they're coming in. It's not like, all right, guys, it's even. You know, let's have our flank played back of grass. You know, you guys just will be trying not to get a flash here. And the same case goes for their flank. If you guys are exchanging and you see their flank playing up here, look for these people, right? Or I guess if you're playing on red on this side. But for the majority of our exchanges, I'll just have like, you know, I'll be playing here, our pyro will be here, our medic on point. You can have your sniper on this box, and you can have your NG just playing, you know, put a mini literally anywhere on the point, and then just spy check for your sniper. And then you can have your flank play up on the right side. So of course, should they go main, they're going to get destroyed. If they come concrete, your flank has help from your combo. So really, it's just about when they go left. So when they go left, of course, you can have your scout, you know, kind of playing, you know, in between this and this, you know, to kind of harass either their sniper or kind of spot where their combos coming through. But when they commit left, we rotate the left and we like full collapse on them. So it should be like your sniper should be peeking them, your demo should be sinking sticks on them, You should have your spy in, and then you can have your soldier bombing their China. So as soon as you guys get in, or as soon as they get in, they start getting in pocket. If they get up and then they just stop for a second, whether to play their sniper or heal up, play their demo, whatever, you've got like your spy in, your soldier above them. Everyone is like walking into their valley. The other thing you have to be mindful of is they could push flank when this happens. So your heavy could play either on the boxes or more near the point. So when they start going connector, he doesn't just blow up instantly. Um, and of course, you guys will just focus on collapsing on this first, and then you can look towards concrete or look towards main. But that's how you guys should be like fighting it when they get through valley. We should be punishing them for walking up, not fighting them when they get here. Like I'm going to be trying to fight them when they're here, not actively when they're on the fence and are spamming me out, and I have to lose control at the point. So yeah, and the same case goes for Ubers. If you guys are, in an even Uber situation and they're all walking up into Valley, you should be taking the Uber aggressively into them. They're gonna have to flash a lot of people. Really, the call for this is your spy has to make sure that the beam is actually committed, because you can always say like they're walking up Valley. You guys peek into them, you're like, oh, let's use. They're all gonna be clumped up, and then their medic is just like back here. So if I call that I want to like use into them aggressively when they all walk into pocket, we're trying to like use here. So if they exchange, they're flashing a ton of people. They've got no space to work with, and even if our Uber isn't that good, we can just back up to the point, and we still have all this space out here, right? So your spy just has to call if their beam is committed or not, and that way you guys can exchange on their side, and you're trying to catch them off guard into forcing and flashing a lot more people back here. That's better than letting them walk up and just taking like a shitty like demo pyro defensive Uber here where you just air blast them back. For the forward hold, what I like to do is, after you guys are like, winning a mid or a post fight, whatever, you guys want to stack the cap first and then start moving forward. I like to have like your soldier scout clear out house first for the telly. Of course, you'll get your heavy back to grass. You play here. You can have your sniper playing on grass with your NG here to kind of spot if they come through main or come through cliff. And then you just have your combo play on porch. So you can have your soldier and spy spotting cliff. That's really all you need. You don't need your NG there. And your demo trap off main, your demo scout pyromedic play on porch, blah, blah, blah. If they come through main, obviously it's a nuke. If they come through cliff, we fight through cliff first, and then we'll back up and then look towards grass. If you lose control of like grass or cliff and they get through, it's better to just give it up. Especially if you guys are down classes like demo or sniper, it's really, really hard to forward without those two classes. You guys can stay with maybe like, no soldier, no NG, no pyro, no scout. But losing your demo's ability to lock out the door and the sniper's ability to watch main and cliff, it's going to be a lot harder. So you guys can stay if you're down one of those classes and have Uber. But if you're down, one of the two and don't have, or both and don't have, I'd always just back up and play on the point instead. I'm trying to think what else. I guess for playing Dogbread, normally I really, really hate playing Dogbread. I'd much rather just kind of play on the point and rotate to meet them left. But if they do have like a bunch of people, I guess like if you guys get funneled into the left side instead and the sniper starts going China, what I like to do is as the sniper starts peeking China, really the only thing you guys can do is have your sniper with you and having, your spy and demo calling him and shooting at him. If you guys are just playing towards the left already and you're not on the right meeting them across, you want to do the same thing of taking the initiative of walking up into them on Valley, but we're just going to have to shoot their sniper if he's peeking forward and shit like that. So if the sniper is going to peek, China, the second that we hear that, your demo can play here and start shooting stickies at him. I mean, normally, even if you guys are playing here, your scout and spy would be doing that anyway. The spy and scout call the sniper's peeking clear for China, and they instantly start harassing him and trying getting up above him, even if they can't commit on him, just so he can't just peek and it's only your sniper to deal with him. So I mean, you guys really don't want to be in the position where you're just sitting here. But if you are, then you can have your demo and sniper peek, look towards them like this. Or like I said, if you see their snipers in like the house door and they're all committing into them, you guys can come trade aggressively into them here, and then you guys can back up to the point. I mean, you guys pretty much are going to be playing your post fights like the way you do your mids. It's kind of just like a softer version of your mids. Of course, because you're not going to be willing to like fully wipe for the post fight. You want to like collapse and be aggressive with each other, but not in the sense of like, oh, it's okay if we lose 8 people for it because it's a mid fight, you know. So the same way you guys would, have your soldier get in, you'd have your flank walk up the right side. You would have your demo and scout kind of take the right and collapse behind their rock. The same case is going to apply for your posts. The most I do, if you guys can't do that, if you guys are down numbers and you call, you're either down a lot of people, so you have to back up, or if it's during an Uber and your Uber is significantly worse, you could always have your combo back up and you guys can just try and delay the point with the classes you have left. So I really hate just giving the point up. Especially like if your medic dies, I try and fight for it as hard as I can. So you guys can back up a little bit, get healthy, and then when they start coming to the point, we can try and delay the cap, same way you would do in Asheville. So just from wherever you guys are from, you could have people peek from Cliff, from China, just try and shoot the cappers. You can have your flank peek from the right side. Of course, you don't have to commit your beam for this. Um, if your plan is to collapse on their medic when they come in, you guys wait to get a little bit of cap time. If not, and you're trying to just kill the people that are capping the side of the point, I would just focus these people here, and you guys can just trade the spam over and over again. They're gonna have to come up on the point together, and either then you guys can leave, or if your goal is to sack, then that's the best time to do it. And also, just quickly, I'll talk about sacking because I didn't really do that, but you guys should. I really don't like sacking too much if they're playing really far back, or if the Ubers are not like a massive disadvantage. I don't like sacking at all. So unless if I know that it's like maybe 50 ad or bigger, then maybe I'll sack. But if not, I see those as opportunities to like dry fight and get our flank set up and things like that. It also depends on like how I said how close they are. So if they're stacking like the right side point and you guys get the call behind house that they're close on point, you guys can sack because they're close and you can reach them. If they're playing their side and they're in like valley or behind rock or already playing to leave main, most of the time your sack is going to be really bad. And if you lose a lot of people for it, they're just going to try and get forward or behind your house as fast as they can. So I'd much prefer like to practice dry fighting if they're super passive like that. But if they are close like here or here or here, then sacking can be fine. And it has to be something you guys like think of doing immediately. It shouldn't be something we like waste a ton of time trying to set up doing. Once your spy is behind and calls that he's ready, or even if he's not, part of it and you're just having people go in front instead, then we just, we sack. You guys can run your NG and your medic to spawn or whatever. And then you guys can, practice getting out of spawn together. But if you are going to sack, it's better to like kind of make it look like a dry and then you run your sack. I don't like just blindly to like sacking from all the way back here. I like to kind of, give them some incentive to come forward. So I like, peek through porch, whatever, like this. We can start shooting towards the right side. Maybe you can have your sniper on Cliff or on China. And then, once they kind of come forward, you can just run your heals out and then you guys can sack if they're closer to the point. Or if they're far back, this is a way to make your sack a little better, is you guys can actually get some sort of space and then you guys can get on them so it's not as far away. Because getting from here, from all the way behind your own house or main, is just going to be shitty for you. So I think kind of walking up a little bit to force them to kind of come forward or peek out and then running your sack is usually the optimal way to do it. You just don't really commit your beam for doing any of that. I think that's what else really is there. I think that's most of it. I guess the only other thing I was going to talk about is if your team is getting forward and you want to like all take their concrete, and you want to like play your sniper on concrete for a bit, it's really just like a soft forward hold. You're kind of just trying to like get maybe people over here to kill these players on flank. If you guys have point control and they're resetting far back or they're down a lot of people, and then you can have your sniper here peeking their main and their cliff. If they do end up getting through cliff, you guys can always just back up to the point. But if not, you guys can literally just sit here. So if they try getting through main or rotating to the right side, they're just gonna blow up because you guys have vision of them. So I would do this if you guys have a lot of time or space in their flank or after you've collapsed on them. But otherwise, I would just kind of like I said do the same thing. We're just gonna play here. So I think that's most, if not everything.
You mentioned you like playing like central on the point when you're just holding it,
Yeah.
like just say like even Ubers, like no
Yeah.
Uber yet. Like, what does that look like for like your medic specifically, and like what are you like watching for when you're holding that?
Um,
Because it
it's
seems
gonna
kind of
be
risky to have your medic playing like
yeah.
out.
It will be, but that only works if your team is playing up. You cannot ever try and like lock them out of concrete or main or right side and then have like half your team sitting back here. And that's very common because people will just say, "Okay, play up," and then medics will think, "Okay, well, I'm really exposed out here, but I could just heal my demo from back here and I'm safe." That's not the same thing because if people are playing back here just because they're safer, of course, people are going to gravitate to playing around the medic and pyro, spy checking around this side. Your sniper is going to play some, more so here. So that just leaves like your flank here and your demo here totally alone. So it's going to be kind of uncomfortable, but really your medic is kind of just trying to play here, and you guys are just very, very reliant on the sniper call. So of course, like the sniper is going like concrete, your medic can play here. You guys can play closer to concrete to shoot it. If the sniper is called going cliff, your sniper that's sitting on the boxes can scope up cliff or base cliff. Your spy can call it. Your scout, like I said, can jump between like these rocks and this box here to kind of harass their sniper as well. Or if you're heavy in demo, have concrete, fine, and there's no one there, maybe even your soldier could bomb off of this wall, or I guess that wall, and get on their sniper on cliff as well. If he's peeking China, it's kind of the same thing I said, like when you're playing dog bread, is really people just have to shoot him. The good thing is China is like very close. As demo, you can just shoot it if you're like right here. Of course, it's really hard for him to see your medic. You've got your sniper here, your scout, your pyro, like anyone can just hard shoot the sniper. But really, what you're looking for is where their combo is walking and where their sniper is. Um, and I mean, your medic just has to kind of like move according to that. So if you guys like lose space on point, you guys back up, you back up. If you guys have more space on the right side than you on your left, your medic can play towards the right, and you guys can stuff the concrete side. Most time, if the sniper's going to go like main or Japan or pixel, he's really going to be a non-factor to your medic because they're really never going to be playing over here in this sight line. Um, and of course, when they go right side, it's not like your medic is going to be peeking anybody. You guys just need to know they're coming right. And then the same way you guys, like I said, take those exchanges into them in Valley, your medic would just go across the plate. And you guys would use into them back here. Um,
Would you hold here with no Uber?
if it's
Like not disad, just dry.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, there's really no disadvantage to doing that. If it's like 9v9, but we have all the space on point, I would still be trying to do those same aggressive collapses if they come through here or even main, right? Um,
Hmm.
of course, like it's better if you have Uber. If it's like disad, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd still be trying to have some forward momentum so we can force them and come back in. Um, of course, if it's disad, you want to be like playing to leave, like I said, main most of the time. Um, but I would still be trying to if it's just like a dry, like both teams are at like 20% or some shit doing the same thing, because otherwise you're giving them a lot of space, and then once you lose it, once they get their sniper and demo set up, if you then try getting aggressive, it's going to be a lot harder. There's a lot more people to look at. um
Yeah.
so
Can you still hold there with no sniper, no spy, or is it just like I guess no
mm,
sniper?
with no sniper, if you guys can stuff the doors, yes. You guys would need to be a lot more reliant on finding the sniper though. So you would need like your scout and spy to be actively looking for him. So the second you get a call, either you can start shooting at him or maybe your soldier can bomb him with your spy. Um, and like I said, it's really just about like if you're down your sniper, you guys have to know like you have to play closer so you don't let them in at all. Because then of course if you back up, your sniper would do well in that, but you're not going to do good in that anymore. Um, so if you're down your sniper and your spy, I would honestly call to just back up to the point because you don't have calls on the sniper. So it's kind of risky to stay peeking out wide. Like you don't really have a way of pinching them per se. You don't really have super good calls on where they're going. And if you do back up, you don't have your sniper to play for you. So if you're down like your sniper or spy and you guys don't have Uber, if you guys call to back up to your side of the point, that's fine. You can play here. That'll buy your sniper and spy some time to get there. But if they do come in, you can wait till they get to the point to then play your collapse. Like, whether you want to let's bait them to the point and then use you can use that Uber, and then in the post, your sniper and spy will be able to be there. Um, or even trying to delay the cap and fight the point that way. Um, but typically, like if you're playing up, you lose your sniper, your spy, and you don't have Uber, I would back up because we don't have any calls on them. So it's kind of risky to just have you guys sitting out in the open.
What do you think about taking Ubers into like their valley, like when they're behind house?
I like doing that if we have a pinch, like if they're all just AFKing. So like if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys are
yeah.
gonna use through their house and you guys like push main and conquer at the same time, then that's fine. Um, but uh, honestly, like I feel like that's like a good way to like get yourself in a position where you can forward hold. But I feel like most of the time, um, a lot of the times you can do that just without Uber. Like if you know they're just all AFKing behind house, you guys can just have your soldier like bomb their China or their cliff, your flank wrap their main or their grass, and your combo push through porch. Most of the time these guys can blow up without using Uber. But if you guys see that you can use Uber to wipe them, then I guess you guys can do that, sure. Um, the only thing is though is I guess it really depends on if their medic dies or not because um, if it's even, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather just do that when they
Yeah.
walk up so that your Uber is actually better. Um, but if it's ad and you don't kill their medic, to me, if you lose people after your Uber, you've kind of just given them a position where they can now get out of spawn and maybe even push the point and they have ad. Or you'll have to forward against an Uber. So you have to like soft forward and you can't fully commit. So I think like you guys, when you're doing that, should be like prioritizing getting on the medic if you know that it's only a slight ad. Um, and otherwise, I guess you guys can just stay there for a bit. If you do that, the medic's at like 30%. You can stay forward for a while because he's not going to have Uber anytime soon, right? Um, I mean, typically I just do that if I see that they're trickling and losing a lot of people behind house. And most of the time, if I do that, like I said, if they're just AFKing and they're down a lot of people, you can do this without using most of the time. Um, Otherwise, I'd rather just do it if they come here because this collapse is better for you because they're really all in one place and you're not really extending to their side of the map.
Okay.
My question is like, how do we get better Ubers when we're pushing? Because it feels like a lot of the times, even if the enemy team's not holding like super close, like you still have to use like really early, like either through main or through like the house.
Right. Um, I mean, that's kind of the reality of it. Is most of the time you are gonna have to use kind of early. Um, there's like a few things you could do. Like I guess, say, like I guess if you guys want to get through porch and there's snipers watching right side, you guys could have like your demo pyro sniper get through, start peeking. Once the sniper is kind of lit on fire or spammed out or headshot whatever, and he's not peeking, then you can call your medic in or say like he shot, you can come through. So when you guys get in, you can use closer to the point, so it won't be as bad. That's a lot better than just like blindly like using out of here. Um, so I guess like trying to like peek forward to deny the sniper if they're not playing aggressive, like you said. Of course, if they're aggressive, you just kind of just have to use. But if they're playing passive and it's like things like spam or a sniper or traps that are kind of forcing you guys, of course you guys can clear the traps pretty easily. You could even, like I said, once you have your scout warlock cliff, can clear them from like up here and then just drop down with your combo. Um, but if you're trying to get through and it's like things like sniper you're concerned about, that's not letting you walk up and use a lot closer to them. We just have to pressure out the sniper and then call for your medic that they can get through. So when you guys do get in, you can use closer to the point. So hopefully your Uber will be better. Um, if you guys are trying to do the same thing through main, it's a lot harder because the door is so low to the ground. It's really hard to pressure the sniper here, and there could be traps. So most of the time, if you guys are going to push through main, you will have to use first, even if they're a little passive, and you kind of have to just accept that your Uber is going to be a little worse because you're not really like playing for the Uber. Really, like the most I would do is just try and have your demo bomb a little bit forward through main with your scout. So um, if you guys are doing that and typically if you're going to pop their main and they're not playing forward, your Uber's going to be a little bit worse. You guys can lead by having your demo kind of use bomb through like this. So you get the little space, you can force them, and then he can jump back out because he's bombing forward to get, our Uber some value, but not so forward that he's going to die. Um, Most of the time, though, you will kind of have to use their main fast if you can't clear the traps for this sniper.
But as for Valley, it's just kind of about like pressuring the sniper and then having your medic come in afterwards. If you guys don't have like a super good Uber where yours is in, like a lot longer than theirs and you get a lot of flank kills, that doesn't really matter. We're just looking to get the Ubers out of the way so we can come in a little easier. If you guys do what I said, where you just like, bomb through main, make the muse, and then you guys back up like this a little bit, you can either refight through main or refight through Valley. But at that point, the Ubers are out of the way. It's just about, are we bleeding people during those Ubers or not? Because most of the time getting through here without using first or without using kind of far back is going to be really hard on you. But you guys have to kind of just like make your point kind of clear. If you plan on just like, we're gonna, bomb through main, make the muse, and then we're gonna rotate and we're gonna post through porch, that's fine. And you have enough time to do that as long as your flank isn't dying during the exchange.
I think I got mine out of the way.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.